Well, it was a successful season, but it didn't end the way I wanted it. I was really probably as hurt as I was in '09 when I thought we'd reach a regional, and we ran into Strasburg. But with every year, I know what we can do, and I know where we can be. I think we're at a point now in this program with 4 regionals in a row, which I'm not sure. I know in this program it hasn't been achieved, and I don't know if that's been pulled off somewhere else or not. But it's now time. It's now time for the state of New Mexico to decide if they want this program to move forward. That's where it's at, and we're talking about facilities. So you look at Indiana University, and they're going to Omaha, and the coach is a friend of mine, and he said the only reason we're going to Omaha is because of that new Kauffman Stadium that they have, the new $20 million stadium. And the same happened at TCU. The same happened everywhere. The template is true. It's real, and it's a matter of fact. So it's a decision process, not just for myself, but for the state, for UNM, for all of us. If we want this thing to go to Omaha, we can. Everything's in place. We just need facilities. We need a bathroom. Other than that little porta potty over there no, that's the men's. Stuart Dyson was coming out of the women's, and the women's was over there when he did his special report. But yeah, I mean, that's it. That's all we have. I mean, it's nice in here, and it's starting to get there, but we're almost there, and a big push would help not only Lobo baseball, but I think it'd be a boom to the community too. In other discussions too.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel like you have to do to get that going?
I'm going to keep talking about it till somebody does it, and I'm going to keep going around and pushing it. New Mexico Junior College has better facilities than the University of New Mexico. Artesia High School has better baseball facilities. Farmington has better baseball facilities. Rio Rancho has better facilities, and that bothers me. But I'm the baseball coach, so it should bother me. But I think and I know it does. I know it bothers the people, and I in the last couple of days, I've had conversations with our athletic director and our president, and even our board of regents are tremendously proud of this program, and working really hard to figure out how we get this done. So I don't think anybody does not want it done. I think they want it done, and I think more than ever. They're pushing hard now to make this done. So I hope and pray, and I do believe that it'll all come to fruition, and we'll have this done in the next year or two. We have to.
Do you feel like this year's squad was maybe the best team you had, other than the '09 team, to get to Omaha? Just because like Mitch Garver and DJ Peterson, all these guys that are leading the program?
You know what? What has been here and what happened here is we hit our way. We hit our way there. I mean, realistically, we hit our way there. You watch the tournament. If you watch the season, Game 3 was us hitting our way to come back to win. Game 3 was always that way. It was 14 to 12, or 12 to 7, or the Lobo score 6 late or 7 late or something like that. We hit our way there, and Indiana's doing that right now, and Kansas State's doing that right now. And the only difference between us and those programs is a little more depth on the pitching side of it. I mean, I really felt if we played catch and pitched for 1 inning and just do average pitching, we were playing Cal State Fulton for the championship. That's how close I thought we were. But it is what it is, but it's an indicator. 6 years ago when I came here, we were a long ways from that. And we're continually growing every year. Kids want to be here. I don't want to lose any New Mexico kids, and I've lost New Mexico kids because of the facilities. And, my dream is to have all the kids on one team from around the state and recruit them for 4 years straight, 5 years straight. And I think if we can do that, we can do what Indiana has just done. We can do what other schools have just done, and Kansas State, and on and on and on. Kansas State's now getting the best players in Kansas and around Kansas, neighboring towns around Kansas. And we can do the same, but we have to show them a locker room. We have to show them toilet facilities, and we have to show them a concession stand, and we have to show them that they can shower here and shower in one place the entire year, and we have to show them consistency and commitment. That's what we have to show them.
You guys lost, 10 seniors off this team, plus DJ, possibly McCaslin.
Mm-hmm.
So with so many guys gone, how do you feel about the team that you have coming back and the recruits coming in?
Start all over. You start all over. I've been doing it 35 years, and it's not the first time I started all over. There's going to be another DJ Peterson. There's going to be another Mitch Garver. There's going to be another Justin Howard. There's going to be another Mike Brownstein. There's going to be another Sam Wolf. There's going to be another Austin House. Those guys are still there. There's still plenty of kids that you can teach how to play, who have the talent, who will become that. There are plenty of kids, and it'll always be that way. I've done it for 35 years. Dan's done it for 20-something years. Ken's done it for 20-something years. I mean, there's almost 100 years of coaching experience, and we know what we're doing. And the key is continually to try to get the caliber of pitching that we can get to make it to Omaha. It's all about pitching. It's about pitching. It'll be pitching tomorrow, the next day, 100 years from now. It'll be about pitching. And last year, 100 years back, it was about pitching. It's about pitching. And to get pitching and to get the premier guy who can win on Friday nights and maybe another couple guys who can beat anybody in the country on Saturday and Sunday is facilities. I'm sorry. We can say what it is, but that's the truth. That's the honest-to-God truth. It's about pitching.
And kids that say that they love the program and love you as a coach, but then they look at the facilities and it's just kind of like, oh, well, I think I'm going to go somewhere else.
You can call Alex Bregman, and he will be the poster child for that. Alex Bregman was Lobo. His dad was a Lobo. They wanted to be Lobos, and we, at camps and stuff, we had him at camps and nurtured him along, and then we made some phone calls to help him get on that USA team, and we wanted to. He's a kid. He's out in New Mexico kid. We're proud of him. And then LSU called him, and they took him to the Palace in Louisiana, and he came back, and he was man enough to come into the facility and tell us, and he cried for an hour. It was so emotional for him. I cried for an hour. So, but I understand. I mean, I get it. And so, yeah, we don't want to lose them anymore. They're our kids. Let's do something for Ryan Padillas and the Austin Houses and the Mitchell Garvers. You talk to any one of them, and they'll tell you the same thing I'm telling you. And this is the program with our kids. And that's what that to me is what's most frustrating, is I'm screaming to New Mexico, I'm begging New Mexico to help because I'm using our kids. And I took this job because I heard the voices in the darkness all the time for 25, 30 years. The two big schools aren't using our kids. They don't care about our kids. They're welcome to walk on, but they're not out asking them to be Lobos. And so I took this job with that in mind. And now it's happening, and we're doing it, and we're successful with it, and I need help. I need help. I need help to help our kids, to help baseball. The one thing that the kids in our state can really, really play, they can play baseball. Call Jordan Pacheco. Great basketball player, wasn't he? Huh?
He was.
I didn't hear the NBA calling Jordan. Not going to happen. Or the NFL. But Major League Baseball, they can play. They can play. And I know that.
Can you evaluate your pitching staff this year? Were you disappointed with it?
I was disappointed. Our pitching staff was slowly imploding throughout the year. I mean, in the fall, we lost Bobby Modis. In the spring, in the fall, we lost Bobby Modis and Jake McCaslin, who was moving along really, really at a good pace. And Jake still got drafted because he was able to come back with Dan Spencer's help. And if he doesn't sign, he'll make himself a $100,000 swing. But I don't know that'll happen. I don't know. But I do know, and everybody around us knows, that Jake McCaslin showed a lot of signs of improvement in a short period of time after he got healthy and Dan could work with him than he ever had in his other previous 2 years. And I think we all know that. And so I think that if he comes back next year, he has a year like Sam Wolf and jumps himself into possibly, who knows where you can, but it will be as good as it is now, but with a tremendous percentage of chance of being even better. That kid could be a top 3 round draft pick with that kind of work ethic and the growth that he's made. I mean, that's an arm that, but if he signs what he signs for, what slot they have now, what they've offered him, then the minute he has an arm injury or a foot injury or a hand, whatever, they'll send him packing because of his history and all that. So we've put everything into place, and our pitching staff, Jake got hurt, Bobby got hurt, a couple of kids had to leave because of personal issues. Another kid just didn't pan out. And so there was 4 go-to guys that we're really counting on that were non-existent. And now we say, okay, well, A.J. Carmen, he comes out and he pitches pretty good early. But as the year goes on, he slowly disappears. And Bumgarner came out and he was pretty good early, but as the year goes on, he slowly disappears. And so our pitching staff, like a Baseball America said, our pitching staff, if they're average, then if they can just throw strikes and be average, then the Lobos have a shot at Omaha because we can really hit. And that really, truly was it. I mean, if you look at the end of the year, if we'd have pitched and played defense like I knew we were going to have to in the regional, then I think we're playing Cal State Fullerton in the winner's bracket.
So you didn't reach average?
Not as a pitching staff, no.
Couple guys.
3 guys. I mean, really, there was 3 guys that you could count on. And we talk about, can we count on you? And Sam Wolf got better. Jake McCaslin got better. Josh Walker got better. And then out of the bullpen, Gabe Aguilar was pretty much you could count on what you were going to get from those guys. But the other guys you never know from day to day. One day they go out 1, 2, 3, and the next day they go out it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys batting that inning. Mm-hmm. So we really did. I tipped my hat to the kids because they set a record. They won the Mountain West with a lot of problems in the pitching staff, and Dan Spencer did a good job.
Draft didn't take too big a bite out of the recruiting class, is it?
Well, there's one,
Yeah, I know.
Nick Pavetta. And Nick Pavetta is a solid kid, and he gave him a number, and if they don't reach that number, he's coming here. But that list of Nick Pavettas is long and strong at Lobo Baseball, and it goes right to the front of the line when I first got here, Matt Moore. Matt Moore had signed at New Mexico Junior College and University of New Mexico. And then in that summer, I got the job here, and I told him about the anthrax outbreak that was in Hobbs, and so you need to come to UNM just for health issues. And then he went on to Tampa Bay instead. So I can go down the list of guys, and most of them were pitchers. I mean, I'm the hitting coach, but I'm about pitching and defense. I'm not worried. I get this other part. I'll get you some runs. Just hold them down. Don't give them any freebies. Don't walk any people. Don't make any errors. Make the routine play. I'll get you the rest. I'm not worried about that.
Assuming if Pavetta is to come, you feel like the recruiting class is good enough to...
If Pavetta gets here, I'm elated. I'm excited. We'll have young kids. We'll have young kids at each position. And I think, Chase Harris will mature. I thought he had a really good first season in NCAA, and I think he's got even better. He'll get drafted if he follows the plan. And I thought the 2 middle infielders at the end played really, really well after really giving away some games early. And now you got to replace Mitch Garver and DJ. But DJ helped us get there. But the month when we got really hot and we were like 23-3 or whatever it was, DJ was just another guy. He was getting walked a lot. He was getting pitched around. The other guys, Real was really hot, and Puste had some clutch hits, and those guys, those juniors those sophomores were doing well, and everybody chipped in, and that'll continue to be Lobo baseball offense.
Where do you see Real next year? Is catching?
I think Real has a big league arm. He's got to become a big league receiver, and he has all the tools to do it. Those muscle-bound guys got to loosen up a little bit because he's a little stiff in receiving. But I think once he gets that, and once he gets like Mitch Garver and intellectually about the game, then I think he's a top round draft pick because, I mean, he's hitting the ball 420 feet over that fence right there.
Ray, you talked about making an attitude adjustment earlier. I assume that kicked in. It seemed like you got to them and they played as a team through the latter part of the season.
You know what? We opened up with we get to regionals because we perform well in conference, and we play a hard schedule. And everybody knows we play a hard schedule. We play a schedule we shouldn't play, and that schedule usually is traveling because we don't have the money to pay teams to come in here. We have to be paid to go there. And so, our budget's not very much. So we have to go on the road to Arizona State in the middle of the week when we're down to nothing in pitching. And then we have to do that at Arkansas and Texas Tech and Oklahoma, whoever. But when we played on the weekend, we match up. We start to match up with those people. And the ball games are 4-3, 5-4. And when we start getting that, when we start having a pitching staff that we don't go, oh, God, we're going to take a bullet on Tuesday. When we get that pitching staff that we have enough guys to keep us in the ball game, you will continually see the University of New Mexico in the midweeks and even on the weekends beat. If we invited Cal State Fullerton here, I believe we'd beat them. I really do believe it. And I know that Arizona State knows we've caught them. Now, how about that? The University of New Mexico has now caught Arizona State. They know it. You can ask in Phoenix. They go, hey, you know what? They're as good as we are. How about that? That's like saying our basketball team's caught Duke. Mm-hmm. Truly. And that's what we're shooting for.
So did the attitude adjustment kick in?
Yes, it did, but I can't tell you how that went. You stood outside the
Well,
door.
happy with it, right?
You stood outside the door and heard the adjustment periods.
Yours were crying.
Yeah. You know what? The reason we win is I preach, work hard at blue collar, no prima donnas, and you got to fight that. I mean, you really have to fight that because all the attention some of these kids get. And it's we and us. Play the game. Right fielder plays the game for his pitcher. I'm practicing so I can help Sam Wolf. And Sam Wolf is pitching so he can help Josh Melendez and Alex Albritton. It's an us and we deal. Like the great state of Mexico, we need to be an us and a we. And once you become that united, things happen. Teams beat talent. And I think we can compete with anybody. One, we do have some talent, but we're a team. We're just not a roster with a bunch of names on it. I mean, everybody's pushing the rock in the same direction for each other. And that's what we've always been about, and we'll continue to be about that. And so when they gel and become a team, when you get that, you don't panic when things go bad. And there's a lot of people that panic, but it ain't the Lobo baseball team.
You guys had your highest ranking ever and the most guys drafted ever. Would you call this the best season you've had here?
You should say that, yeah. But 2008 was a great season. I look at it in perspective. On paper, yeah, but 2008, I had a bunch of guys that were down. They had been through a lot. They'd had, it was just a bunch of kids. And if it weren't for Matt Carpenter hitting a full count home run against us at TCU, we might have been jumping up and down about that team going to regionals. It's just there's just so many things that have been so cool about every year. I still remember Scott Gracie, how awesome he was, and DJ Peterson. So very successful year, not what we wanted. This program now is shooting for Omaha and believes they can get there. And it's not a reach, it's not a stretch, it's not something way off in the distance. And if we get the help we need, yeah. But yeah, I put every year in perspective, and then and there was more talent on this team than the 08 team. But the 08 team, I mean, when you see a bunch of guys like they were, Steve Smith, who's still pitching in the Dodger organization, his competitive attitude that's a guy that had serious arm surgery, and now he's still playing and still winning on AAA. How about that? So the fight in that team and the talent in this team and the competitive attitude, all of them have been successful. We have not had a successful year here. I always like to look at the things that are good about it, and there's a lot of good things that have happened in 6 years. The thing that I think is really cool, really is that a La Cueva boy is up for the Johnny Bench Award. That's why I wore this shirt, is because that's one of the top honors that any college baseball player would love to have. And I think he's going to get it. To be named the best catcher in the United States, kidding me? When's that happened before anywhere? You know what I mean? And he's Albuquerque. He's New Mexico. And Jordan Pacheco on TV and being votes for the Rookie of the Year. I mean, this program is about us. It's New Mexico. And I believe that deep down inside is really important to me. And I just think that's cool. And I think, you know, people in the town think that's cool too. And I think people in Lovington and Deming and Eunice and Clayton and Farmington and Lordsburg and Silver City, they all do too. They want to get behind something that's got our kids playing. They want to pull for it, win or lose, get after it. It's a cool deal to me. So it's more than just baseball. It's an us deal. I've watched too many kids. I watched too many kids in the last, I've been coaching for 5 decades. Ouch. I've seen too many kids in my lifetime in the state of New Mexico who I thought were as good as anybody playing on TV. And I've seen them in Alamogordo, I've seen them in Las Cruces, I've seen them here, Albuquerque, I've seen them in Hobbs, I've seen them in Clovis. You know, I can go all the way back to a guy named John Harris in Clovis, New Mexico, played in the big leagues for a cup of coffee. And I thought he was destined. But there's tons of them. There's tons of them. And I want to dig them up, hold them up, put them here, and let the world see them. Let everybody see how good these kids are. And they're good kids, too. They're really good people.